As I speak to you right now, the UPC has had an extraordinary delegate conference which has extended the tenure of Jimmy AKENA as the president for the next 1 year. We all know there has been some jostling within the UPC party, where Jimmy AKENA was caught up with the term limits within the party and wanted to run as president in 2026. Okay, when he wanted to do a delegate conference, it was blocked by the police, okay, and the Ugandan army. So they decided to do a vacuum delegate conference. So I confirm that they have extended his tenure for 1 year. Okay, so the purpose of this video, I've come to talk about how Jimmy AKENA is maneuvering the 2-term limits, but also show you the reason as to why, whether they hold water or not. Okay, so that we can understand the gymnastics within the body politic of our country. Before I proceed, I want to play a tape when Jimmy AKENA was crying for the police after blocking his delegate conference, before they had this extra delegate conference. Here's a tape.
But the essence of that ruling was that I, Jimmy AKENA, is the president of the Ghana People's Congress, have been the president for the last 10 years, but that I should not be a candidate for UPC in the 2026 election. That is the essence of that ruling. Now, since this ruling gave me, I retained the authority of president, the immediate course of action was to call the supreme organ of the Ghana People's Congress, which is the Delegates Conference, and present the problem as we face it right into their hands for them to be able to make a decision. I communicated the same to the Inspector General of Police as required. I also contacted the Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of Justice. I circulated and the Electoral Commission. Unfortunately, yesterday afternoon, I had to go physically to the police headquarters to pick a letter which says I should not continue with my delegates conference because police are not able to provide security because of other exigencies. The funny thing here is that if I did attempt to hold a meeting in Kamdini, you will find remarkably, police will find 10 times the manpower required to police a meeting, but they will provide 10 times the manpower to close a meeting, which they said they didn't have the manpower to police in the first place. So I decided not to haggle on that point, and we have a standing arrangement as far as our mobilization is concerned, where I can hold town hall meetings in various parts of the country. That's the direction we decided to pursue. We will get our delegates together in various town halls, in various cities, towns, across the country, that we can debate and see how we can position UPC for the 2026 election. But since I still found the powers that be were not forthcoming, I have since been directing my party leaders to gather in smaller numbers. If it's at district level, you gather as a district. Don't look for a town hall, you gather. We are going to be broadcasting the Delegates Conference live on various platforms, and we're going to make sure that we can interact with our membership.
That is Jimmy AKENA. And he raised pertinent issues. Okay? But we all know that his wife, the first lady of the UPC, is a minister. So one would ask, why is the police coming out to block the delegate conference? The purpose of this video is to show you how General MUSEVENI is smart. When Jimmy AKENA stands as president, be rest assured that the Lango sub-region will vote for Jimmy AKENA because that is his stronghold. In the last election, President MUSEVENI won the Lango sub-region. In fact, if I put all matters constant, he won by almost 70%. It means that those votes which were almost 70% will go to Jimmy AKENA. The representation within Parliament it will go to the UPC because it's the dominant party even in the council. So by wanting to block him from signing as a president, they wanted to block the delegate conference because I know the delegate conference was going to confirm his candidature. However, very many people are coming out to say that why extend the term limits. Let me also be fair. Term limits don't make sense when a person has failed to take the state power. This is the fact. And in a young democracy like ours, parties are built around individuals. Many of the time, that's why there is no FDC without OSCJ. I don't see NUP without Bobi Wine, except for a few political parties like UPC and DP, but also those parties, they have ever had strong individuals and they are performing well. For example, DP had Semoge, it performed well, and Abenichwan performed well. When it got a weak leader like Norbert Mao and those who followed, you can see where it is. Once a party that had state power, how can you tell me that he has only 7 members of parliament? So parties are built around individuals. I keep on telling people that term limits within a party for a presidential flag bearer don't make sense when he has failed to take power. However, there must also, a line must be drawn when you remove term limits from a political party, okay? So that you don't build a dictator. That line must be built. But for me, if you tell me term limits don't make sense within a political party that I failed to take power, term limits must only be for the presidency of the country. But for political party, I don't think term limits hold water. This is my view. So anyone who is coming out to say that AKENA is doing bad manners by trying, because I know at the end of the day, after standing as a president, I know the delegate conference will sit and remove the term limits within the party. That is the right decision to be made. What I concur with is term limits must only be for the presidents of the country, not for a political party that has failed to take power. And even within our NUP, I know for a matter of fact, if the NUP constitution is gazetted, in a most unfortunate event, Bobi Wine fails to take political office, how do you see NUP without Bobi Wine presidency? It will be a shell, the same which is happening to the FDC. So for me, I think by AKENA wanting to remove the age limits, for as long as it does it in the conformity of the UPC constitution, it has no harm. The only term limits must be on the presidency. Term limits don't make sense in a political party that has failed to take power. Because even if you agree with a person in a political party, for as long as a line is drawn and we don't build dictators. However, also, relinquishing power after 2 terms within a party shows maturity. It also shows that a party is before self. Of course, that's my opinion. I remain yours, Mr. Makindi, Kavyesula Imani Mawagali, the next MP for Makindi East constituency. I'll see you on another one. Peace.
Yes, Kavyesula Imani Mawagali. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makindi East constituency, so that I can represent the great people of Makindi East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.
Sigadde nze Mr. Makindi, Kavyesula Imani Mawagali, kantu ene guno omukisa okubategeeza mbu ngenda kwesimba okuwa MP Makindi East 2026 nesimbawo luli era nkomawo bataata bamaama basenga bajjajja okubasaba akalulu. Makindi East ediridde nnyo emabega okumala emyaka 2 okuva omugenzi Ssebaana we yagenda. yensonga lwaki buli mukulembeze ajja tumuwayo ekisanja kimu kubanga tukola ensobi. Abakulembeze ba Makindye East okumalenga emyaka 15 buli baranking abakulembeze abakozi b'omu parliament abatakyasinze kwogera babeera mu abiri abasemba. Ebyo bintu birina okwogerwa. Twetaaga omukulembeze ng'alina obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Twetaaga omukulembeze nga fighter, si bano bajooka. Bw'oba ng'ogenda saabalira ku mazzi ne baleeta eryato ly'ebbumba ne baleeta ne speed boat, tosobola kukwata lyato lya bbumba ogenda osaabale kubanga lijja kunywa amazzi obbire bassebo ne bannyabo. Oba olina kulondawo speed boat efubutuka kaweewo ekusomese mangu. Nze Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali, nze speed boat. Bannaye munonde muninnye nsooke mbasaabaze ku speed ey'ekizungirizi. Eddoboozi lyaffe libadde teriwulirwa. Kyekiseera mu 2026 mulonde nze kamwa kwogera Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali alina eddoboozi eryamwanguka ajoyimirira ku parliament ayanje ensonga mu beesimbyewo bonna bassebo ne bannyabo teri ansinga kwanja nsonga. Abaneesimbyeko bonna baneegomba olw'engeri gye njogeramu, olw'engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Gw'oba okiwakana eno YouTube yange sooka ogiraba ogifollowing ogisharing olayo ne vidiyo eziriko engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Kuba mwaka faananyi nga ndi ku floor ya parliament nga ngamba Mr. Speaker sa wa Madam Speaker sa waliwo asobola ogaana okuwulira. So mu 2026 tetukola era ne mulonda omulala atali Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali. Musibe bulungi, mweraba. Peace.
Mpala nawala kusaba kimuze mpala na bulungi abampala no bulungi nange benjagala obulungi.